no killers. I keep it J just in case if I fell off. I made a change, now I'm well off. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. I made a change, now I'm well off. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in once I'm back. Feeling my problems just stacked. High in the cloud full of black. Swallow me, never come back. Look how I got it, that bitch, and I made it. This all for the music, don't need to be famous, don't need no acquaintance. I just need the homies wherever we make it. I'm trying to get lifted, not faded, I'm fading like pain. It's my color, been straining the pain of this life is so dangerous. I pray that I make it. Sorry for venting, I've really been heated. You say I'm winning, I'm feeling defeated. Feel like this feeling exists for no reason. The shipping in pocket so dark I can see it. I got a demon.
Alright, welcome back to the videos, everyone. We got more racing content for you in this video. 2 videos ago, you guys saw how I was racing in Wisconsin and Iowa. However, luckily this weekend we also have a 2-day event, but both events are at the same location and they're here in Minnesota. And the good thing about this weekend is it's also going to be raining, so it's going to give us a little bit more track time and a little bit more experience on the R888s in the rain. The track in Wisconsin, it was raining on and off, but that track didn't have a lot of traction even when it was dry. So I want to try these tires in a multitude of different grip levels when it's raining out. And I also just want to become a better driver and a more well-rounded driver, so that means driving in the rain as well. And also that's a good thing for you guys to apply to your driving, because if you guys go to a championship or any kind of racing, unless there's lightning, you're still running. So, and sometimes if there's lightning, you might still be running. But yeah, so I'm just checking the fluids, I'm throwing paint on the tires, and you guys will see now the footage from tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night you guys will see all the work that I'll be doing on the car, but hope you guys enjoy the video.
I'll make sure that none of this shit in your sight. Now I've been living a little bit different. My life and decisions got me contradicting the ditches I put myself in, cause I'm different. My vision been sticking like legal prescription. This shit really hit it, I hit it. I'm lifting, no feelings existing. They gone with the wind. It's like trying my best, not quitting. Like get on my head, I'ma get it right. Living for you, I'm not living right. Trying so one day my children might. Smoking on protein, no killers. I keep it J just in case if I fell off. I made a change, now I'm well off. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. I made a change, now I'm well off. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in when I'm well off, yeah. Wish him in once I'm back. Feeling my problems just stacked. High in the cloud full of black. Swallow me, never come back. Look how I got it, that bitch, and I made it. This all for the music, don't need to be famous, don't need no acquaintance. I just need the homies wherever we make it. I'm trying to get lifted, not faded, I'm fading like pain. It's my color, been straining the pain of this life is so dangerous. I pray that I make it. Sorry for venting, I've really been heated. You say I'm winning, I'm feeling defeated. Feel like this feeling exists for no reason. The shipping in pocket so dark I can see it. I got a demon inside and I feed it. I got an angel that's keeping me breathing. It's funny how both are the same when I'm thinking.
As you guys just saw, it's very, very fast out there. I feel like I didn't need any warm-up. I feel like this course is very intuitive. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's nothing really to say about it or anything complicated. It's a very flowing course, but it's got some tight sections. And there's a lot of grip, so I don't really know how to adjust my driving other than maybe carrying more speed into each corner and using the brakes more, carrying more speed into each corner and then having to use the brakes harder. But we're gonna see what it does in these next couple runs. that was our third run. Basically, we're done for the morning sessions. It was weird because that was like my worst feeling run, but it actually was the fastest. It was a 39.99, whereas the other two runs were like a 40 something. But I think for the afternoon, basically the goal is to just clean up the runs and kind of figure out like what we need to do to smooth things out and see if we can't pull a little bit more time out. I'm going to try adding a little bit of pressure back in, but I don't think it needs it necessarily. I'm going to look at to see how the tire's rolling over. A lot of they shoot. Yeah, if it slows you down, you get a rerun. Oh, you talking about the Corvette or the Miata? Yeah, the Miata. Oh, well. Ha!
Be right over the cones.
Oh, no.
He's got to back up.
Oh, no. No, that's not good. So as you guys see, day one of the event is over. It's probably some of like the best driving I've done like so far in my whole career. Like it's actually done. I did feel like I did really well, and the best part is I incrementally was taking off big chunks of time and improving throughout the day as I learned to trust the car more and just got more comfortable with the setup. But I am very exhausted and it's been a long day, so I think I'm just going to rotate the tires and call it a day. And you guys will see what happens tomorrow. Okay. Alright, so in this next section I'm going to show you guys how to like actually tape your like wheel weights, your glue on or stick on wheel weights to your rim. They have self-adhesive to stick them to the rim. I'm going to show you guys how to secure them more properly so that way the heat from your brakes or just general aggressive driving doesn't shake them loose. You're going to need some kind of MAP gas or propane torch, a scraper, just a box cutter or a cutting knife. You can use Gorilla Glue or duct tape, paper towels, and then I have brake clean. This is not necessarily the best idea because if you use chlorinated brake clean, you don't want to be heating it up with a torch because normal chlorinated brake clean is very toxic. This is non-chlorinated, but I still don't recommend this. If you're going to be doing this, I highly recommend soap and water or acetone. Acetone is probably your best bet. Soap and water works. You should be okay with this non-chlorinated stuff, and that's what I've been using, but I still don't recommend it, and most people who like weld and do this kind of stuff don't recommend it either. So that's what you're going to need. I told you guys how I was rotating the tires, and I do that kind of between events just so the tires all wear evenly, especially when you're driving them like as often as hard as we are. The other thing is when you rotate them, a good pattern that you want to use is you take the front tires and you take them straight back, and then you take the back tires forward and you cross them to the opposite sides when you bring them forward. The other thing is when you rotate them and you have them off the car, and you can do this when they're on the car and the car is jacked up, is you just take the tire, and you spin it, and you're just kind of looking on the tread blocks for a nail in the tire, a screw, anything that might be causing a leak, because sometimes you can have an unnoticeably small leak from a nail in the tire, or if your tire is delaminating or whatever. And then you can also check your tread depths. The other thing is if you guys have stick-on wheel weights, which most of you guys probably will have, like this, what I do to prevent them from falling off, and they can fall off if your brakes get too hot, not too hot, but just like the heat from the brakes can melt the glue on the weights. Or if you launch the car, or you just any aggressive track driving or anything in general, might pose some danger to them falling off. So what I do is I just take some brake clean and a rag. You clean the dirt on the rim, around the weights and on the weights. And then any old glue, you can just take a scraper and a torch and you can burn them off and just kind of scrape them off. And I already did that on this rim. And then you just take a section of tape. You can use duct tape. I'm using Gorilla Tape in this instance. And then just lay it in the rim over the wheel weights. Then you just tear off your excess. And then what I do, because this Gorilla Tape isn't like necessarily the most pliable, is I'll just take a torch and you just turn it down, and you don't need to melt the tape, but you're just going to kind of like go over it and soften it up and soften the glue up. Just kind of go over it until you're just going to kind of go over it until the surface of the tape kind of gets that little shiny gloss to it, and just to help the tape stick to the rim that much better. Oh, and you don't want to start it on fire, you just kind of want to massage it on there a little bit.
Thinking about my life in a long ride. Figured I could figures for a long time. Trying to get $1 million in the coastline. Get my mama posted on the coastline. No mind. Talking out your neck, get your clothesline. No mind. Coming out the bottom, so for now I'm on a gold mine. Living on the low for sure, I need a showtime. Showing up and showing no one been the coldest all time. No cap, no kizzy, that's straight facts. Laid back in the city where I stay at. Stay back, stay busy, I stay that. Stated I'm the greatest for my state, and that's a statement. Stay great, stay laid up on my grind now. Grade 8, you can see it from my eyebrows. Take a fan, I'm trying to turn the tide. What's the time out? Time's up, you ain't fucking with me, lie down. Stay down, so to come up on the big plus. Head down, but I'm walking with a big blunt. Head count, if I take a bit, we take one. Bet I'm better than a top 10 A1. I've been looking in the past like an hourglass. Got me hitting out the glass, watching all these hours pass. Now I'm on a different type of time blur. Hardest talking got me feeling like the king of the world. I done heard my mama cry way too many times. Waiting on the side change, never mind, moms. I'm a landmine, someone get a landline, landslide. Side on where you stand high. Ran by what I can't buy, so I am high. Damn, I'm like a franchise, no I can't sign, can't lie. What I can buy is a lifeline. Got a gram guy, so I can fly. Take off, no Migo, I'm a spaceship. King Kong at the top, going ape shit. 8-ball rock.
so that wraps up this weekend of racing. Basically, to summarize everything that's been going on, I feel like as a driver, my driving is taking a step up from feel like the beginning of this year, the events that have taken place, I feel like my driving has taken a step from kind of novice to that solid intermediate stage. The car is doing phenomenal. The track felt wonderful on Saturday. It felt very grippy, and it felt like I was able to slowly carve down my times. I was having trouble with grip this morning. However, come to find out, all my tire pressures, I kind of forgot about checking my tire pressures, and they were all at little over 30, which was not helping me. Dropped them down. However, the afternoon runs it was very cold out. It was cold in the morning, but it was very, very cold out in the afternoon. And I just had a hard time getting any kind of traction. I had a hard time hooking up. My times were kind of all over the place and just not what I wanted, but my driving was kind of, I was just working on that. The car, I've been classing in E-Prepared. It's probably not competitive in E-Prepared. It's in E-Prepared because I have no interior, and I don't even know if it's legal in E-Prepared with the tubular front end. That's something I need to look into. I think it is legal, but I'm not sure. However, right now I'm not so worried about classing and, getting points and all that. I'm working on myself as a driver. And I know I'm going to want to cater this car to a prepared class or a modified class, simply because I hate to say it, but I don't like being told what mods and what I can and can't do to my street car. I want to be able to basically build the car how I want it to build, how to build it. Unfortunately, that puts us in some of the higher ranking classes. So my kind of long-term plan is slowly build the car, and then as I'm building it, I'll also be building myself as a driver. I'm slowly building the car, but if you notice, I'm not just stacking on power, because I truly believe it's a stock D16. It only makes 120 horsepower, or at least at peak RPM, at 6,600 RPMs, and that was when it was new. It's got 250,000 miles on it by this point. I truly believe I still have a lot of learning to do. I'm getting better as a driver, but I think I still have a lot of learning to do at this power level. This horsepower is not holding me back yet as a driver, so I'm not eager to just stack on horsepower. That is how you slow your progress as a driver, because stacking on power, you're going to end up fighting the car rather than learning technique. So right now I'm just kind of slowly massaging the car and doing things that will help me not fight the car, like poly motor mounts. Poly motor mounts are a really good way to help you as a driver, because then the car is not as squishy and sloppy. It's more responsive, and it's going to make it more like a go-kart, and just kind of makes the car more it'll do more of just what you want it to do, instead of just being this sloppy street car that's factory. So I'm focusing on stuff like that while I focus on my driving. Then once I feel okay, my driving is I can take things up a notch, maybe go get a different seat time car to keep practicing in while I turbo this or whatever. So that's kind of my long-term plan. I had a lot of fun this weekend, and I'm really excited for the next event, but this was definitely a big step in the right direction, and I just learned a lot about myself and the car at this event. Didn't get to do as much rain driving as I thought I would, but that's okay. There will be plenty more of that in, but it definitely was cold enough for me to learn a thing or two about less than ideal conditions. So I'll catch you guys on the next video.